Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Ezekiel 46. Now, so we're in that series of chapters in Ezekiel where he's going over the district, the temple, the new city that's coming. He's going over vast details of this. A little bit boring in these chapters, but there are bits of information that give us hints as to what's going on here. Because what we found so far, it seems like he's talking very much like the temple that will be in the millennial reign, and what's going to happen there. Because we found changes in what they're going to do. Now, this chapter is going to talk about the manner of worship. So this will be the manner of worship that happens in this temple. Now, we can go back and look in history and we can find it looks like this temple has never existed, because the design, the way it's built, is really odd. But we can look and see what else he has to give to us to show us whether this is something that's already been, or is soon to be, or is something that's going to be in a future time frame. So that's what we're attempting to do now. So let's get into Ezekiel 46, the manner of worship. Thus says the Lord God, the gateway of the inner court that faces toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days. But on the Sabbath it shall be opened, and on the day of the new moon it shall be opened. The prince, and see, he keeps talking about the prince. And the prince is a leader. I don't know if anybody ever realized maybe this might be talking about Christ, because it seems like it is. The prince shall enter by way of the vestibule of the gateway from the outside, and stand by the gatepost. The priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings. He shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go out, but the gate shall not be shut until evening. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the entrance to this gateway before the Lord on the Sabbaths and the new moons. There's no way anybody could have been able to do this, because if you go look at the East Gate today, it's all graves out there, and Jews aren't allowed to touch those things, according to the law. So there's no way this has happened before. It couldn't have. And they didn't do it like this before. As far as I can tell from the Bible, if you go back into Exodus, Deuteronomy, and Leviticus, it looks like they never did this. This is something new. Verse 4, the burnt offering that the prince offers to the Lord on the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish, and a ram without blemish. And the grain offering shall be 1 ephah for a ram. Now remember, he changed the measurements on all this too. See, this is what's interesting about this to me, is these little details tell me this is a future time frame. And the grain offering for the lambs, as much as he wants to give, as well as a hin of oil with every ephah. On the day of the new moon it shall be a young bull without blemish, 6 lambs, and a ram. They shall be without blemish. That's pretty hard work to find that. Verse 7, he shall prepare a grain offering of an ephah of a bull, or ephah for a bull, an ephah for a ram, as much as he wants to give for the lambs, and a hin of oil with every ephah. When the prince enters, he shall go in by way of the vestibule of the gateway, and go out the same way. But when the people of the land come before the Lord on the appointed feast days, whoever enters by way of the north gate to worship shall go out by way of the south gate. Whoever enters by way of the south gate shall go out by way of the north gate. He shall not return by way of the gate through which he came, but shall go out through the opposite gate. The prince shall then be in their midst. When they go in, he shall go in, and when they go out, he shall go out. At the festivals and the appointed feast days, the grain offering shall be an ephah for a bull, an ephah for a ram, as much as he wants to give for the lambs, and a hin of oil with every ephah. I've never seen that in the Old Testament, of this is what they give. It was different before. I'm just doing this from memory though, but it seemed to me it was different before. Quite a bit different. So when is this happening? Now, verse 12. When the prince makes a voluntary burnt offering or voluntary peace offering to the Lord, the gate that faces toward the east shall then be opened for him, and he shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings as he did on the Sabbath day. Then he shall go out, and after he goes out the gate shall be shut. You shall daily make a burnt offering to the Lord of a lamb of the first year without blemish, You shall prepare it every morning. And you shall prepare a grain offering with it every morning, a sixth of an ephah, and a third of a hin of oil, to moisten the fine flour. This grain offering is a perpetual ordinance, to be made regularly to the Lord. Thus they shall prepare the lamb, the grain offering, and the oil, as a regular burnt offering every morning. Now they have prince capitalized at the end of verse 15. That little bit of commentary there, the prince and the inheritance laws. Verse 16, thus says the Lord God, if the prince gives a gift of some of his inheritance to any of his sons, it shall belong to his sons. It is their possession by inheritance. I'm starting to see what he's doing here. This is all a picture. This is all a picture of what's going on. Verse 17, but if he gives a gift of some of his inheritance to one of his servants, it shall be his until the year of liberty, after which it shall return to the prince. But his inheritance shall belong to his sons. It shall become theirs. Moreover, the prince shall not take away any of the people's inheritance by evicting them from their property. He shall provide an inheritance for his sons from his own property, so that none of my people shall be scattered from his property. Very interesting, because that was something that was happening back when Jesus was on the earth. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Sanhedrin, they were doing that to people. It was pretty bad how they were doing that. It made a lot of people poor for no reason. How interesting he's listing this here. So maybe this is the correction. In the millennial reign, it'll be the correction to that. Verse 19, now he brought me through the entrance, which was at the side of the gate, into the holy chambers of the priests, which face toward the north. And there a place was situated at their extreme western end. And he said to me, this is the place where the priests shall boil the trespass offering and the sin offering, and where they shall bake the grain offering, so that they do not bring them out into the outer court to sanctify the people. Then he brought me into the outer court, and caused me to pass by the four corners of the court. And in fact, in every corner of the court there was another court. In the four corners of the court were enclosed courts, 40 cubits long and 30 wide. All four corners were the same size. There was a row of building stones all around them, all around the four of them, and cooking hearths were made under the rows of stones all around. And he said to me, these are the kitchens where the ministers of the temple shall boil the sacrifices for the people. Archaeologically, they have never found this level of construction for the temple. And going back in history, they've never seen this level of construction. As far as I can tell, this whole elaborate setup has never existed. I may be wrong, but as far as I can tell, this has never existed. So when is this? This has got to be a future time frame. This has got to be millennial reign, because we know things are going to be go back to a certain way. That's what the Jewish people that are saved, this is what they're going to do. They're going to be corrected in how they do everything, and it's all going to be put back the way it was supposed to be. That's just what I'm seeing here. Somebody else may have a different perspective on that. But it looks like there's so much here that's different from what it was given originally. And remember, he's been changing things. Now this measurement will be this much. Now this measurement will be this much. He's doing that, I guess, to make it easier. I don't know. But it seems to me like the elaborateness of this is because of how much more special this is going to be, because now the Lord is going to be here. So this will be something very specific. And we can see how specific it is. And the construction of this place is just so elaborate. And I don't think anybody's ever seen anything like this before, because, I mean, it doesn't seem like we can find any evidence of it archaeologically. Very interesting how elaborate this is. But this may be the temple that will exist when New Jerusalem comes. Because remember, chapter 41, a new temple and a new city. Or a new city and a new temple. So that was Ezekiel 46. More details, and more little things changed. Tomorrow will be Ezekiel 47, the healing waters and trees. And this one ought to give us some more clues. Because there were no healing waters back then. There were no healing trees or anything back then. So this may be another indicator as to the future time, the future fulfillment of this particular setup of this temple. And we'll discover that tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.